Bună, dragilor! Astăzi avem un subiect foarte interesant. Vom vorbi despre un proiect care are loc în România, Bulgaria, Belgia și Turcia. Un proiect care își propune să îmbunătățească tot ce ține de comunicarea dintre medici și părinții copiilor cu dizabilități. Tocmai de aceea îl am ca invitat pe unul dintre inițiatorii proiectului, domnul Bulent Elbasan, care este fizioterapist la Universitatea Gazi din Ankara, Departamentul de Fizioterapie și Reabilitare. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
I want to tell you from the beginning that I'm very happy that you will implement this program in Romania, because I'm also a mother of a kid with disability. He is 9 and I don't have fingers to count for how many times I had some, bad experience with the medical staff here. Tell me at the beginning, what was the motivation behind this project?
First of all, thank you very much for your kind invitation, and I'm very happy to be here with you. The motivation behind that, you know that as you are a mother for a disabled children, the medical professionals have some problems while communicating with the parents of the children with complex needs or infants at risk or infants with disabilities. So the basic motivation for the project is to educate, to train these medical professionals to communicate better with the parents with these kind of children.
How would you describe the program shortly?
In this program, we will prepare a curriculum, a training curriculum for the medical professionals. I mean, we will train the medical professionals about the communication with the parents, and also will support the mothers who are pregnant and who has a child with a risk or who has a disabled child as well.
I understand that. When did the program start?
It has been started in the 1st of September 2017, and it will be ended at the end of August 2020. So it will take 3 years. Yeah.
And this is what kind of actions will be during this time?
First of all, we will prepare a curriculum with the professionals, with the 4 partner countries, and after the training material is ready, we will deliver these materials to the medical professionals, and after that we will have a face-to-face training for them. So they will know how to communicate between them, how to communicate transdisciplinary between the professionals, and also how to communicate with the parents.
And what are the goals? What do you want to obtain?
Yeah, we want to establish a better communication skill for this kind of people, and also to physiologically support the families who have these kind of children, because when the child is born with a disability or with a complex need, everything has been changed for the families. So the medical professions only think to save their lives, to save the lives of the children. But on the other hand, the family is in stress or in trouble. So they have to support these kind of situations when the born started or when the child has born with complex needs.
I understand. And who is your target audience? And later on, who will benefit from this project?
I think the first group will be the medical professionals like doctors, nurses. The doctors can be neurologists, neonatologists, developmental medicine practitioners, nurses, doulas, which are in Bulgaria, midwives, parents, pregnant mothers are all in the scope of this project.
And what are the steps? You said you started in 2017.
Yeah.
What are the steps till the end?
Yeah, we just started with kickoff meeting in Ankara to see what's the project about and how will we participate in this project. So we had our second meeting in Bulgaria to talk about the framework, the framework of the curriculum that we have prepared. Now it's the third meeting in Romania that we are talking details about the curriculum. So after the curriculum established, we will work on the content of the curriculum that we will prepare. After it finishes, we will prepare PowerPoints and mobile application. Yeah, mobile application, yeah, that will allow all medical practitioners to use all over Turkey, all over Bulgaria or Romania, in 5 countries. Maybe as an exploitation, these portals can be used all over the world. That will help for all parents who has children with complex needs.
So mobile application, but it will be a platform or site or where this information can be read.
It will be uploaded as an e-learning platform on the website, and we have Facebook accounts and internet accounts for that, and also mobile application will be available in Android applications, phones that every parents can use.
Okay. Tell me how is in your country? Why did you start it? Why did you think this is necessary?
Yeah, in the last decades, there are lots of risk of premature birth. There are lots of maternal risk. We have conceptual problems. We have high technology and air pollution. We have genetic disorders, and genetic disorders is one of the I think increased problems all over the world. So, and also congenital diseases, that it's a part of genetic diseases as well. So these are getting more and more in all over the world. So we think that if the parents has these kind of children at the beginning, they have to be more powerful. They have to have more self-esteem to move forward without thinking about the reason of the problem. Because sometimes the parents came and they ask, what's the reason for that? What was the problem before? It's not problem now. So the problem is now to follow up the steps that the parents need to move their child forward. So the basic aim of this project is to support the family as soon as possible to look forward rather than backwards. That's the main.
To think how to solve this, how to have this kid more independent, and to be supported, because I felt in my experience that I didn't have the support that I needed, because you have so many things on your mind. You just think, as you said, why did this happen? How can I prevent it? What am I doing now? Because we don't have, here in Romania, we don't have a follow-up program for the kids born prematurely to know, at first year I have to check this, to go to these doctors. At second year I have to do this. So, there are many problems on the head of a parent. So yes, for me and from my opinion, it's very important for the medical staff to be more supportive and to be there with the parents. Tell me, you said about all the problems the parents are having all around the world, not only in Romania or in Turkey or in Belgium. We know that because the medical thing, the neonatologist knows more how to save the kids as younger as even if they have 24 weeks, which 2 years, 5 years, 10 years ago, it couldn't happen to save a kid with 24 weeks. So, but this comes with some disabilities, with some complex needs. So we have more and more kids with these problems and more families and parents who have these problems. Do you think we can prevent this kind of premature birth?
Yeah, absolutely, yes, but some of them this can be preventable. I mean, if you take care of the nutrition status of the mother, this can be a more normal birth. Or if you have a genetic disorder, if you are consulted to a genetic professional, this can be prevented before. Or maybe you can have some medication, or you may have different kind of implementations to your body. So this can prevent to become a child with complex need or with disability. And also one thing, that the in vitro fertilization is going high and high all over the world. So nobody can know what's going to be happen to this fertilized embryos. So that's why we cannot manage these kind of problems. Also the congenital diseases, the air pollution, and also technology is getting high. With the technology is getting higher, there are lots of problems with the and epigenetics is changing. That's why the congenital disease is increasing. This makes the survival really hard. And also you mentioned about the high technology sometimes is a very good way to improve, to save the life, because you said that in NICUs the baby cannot live before 24 months of age, but nowadays, since the technology is getting higher, they have to they have the chance to live more and more and more. This makes the disability more harder and more, severe.
We decided that it's important for parents with kids with disabilities to be supported, emotionally supported. But how can we convince a medical staff, I don't know, a doctor or a nurse to be supportive to that mother or to that parent if they are concentrated on saving that kid's life?
Yeah. So I'm a medical professional also, and I am belonging to that team. But the first thing that we learn is saving the life of the babies.
Yes.
So that's why nobody take care about the family or the emotional status of the family or the child. They just want to make alive. They don't want to give oxygen just to have some breath that they can live. So that's the basic aspect of the problem. And since it's so stressful for the medical professionals, it's really hard to communicate with the family at the first step. But as I know, we have to be a team. I mean, medical professionals has to be as a team, has to behave as a team. I know that the doctors are so busy about these issues, but nurses, psychiatrists, psychologists, physios are also have to have this kind of training to be aware of the problems, what's going on, and to inform the families about their child or about the disability that they can face later on their life. So I think the communication is the best word that has to be that has to be bear in mind for the medical professionals in their own businesses. I think this is the main aspect of the project.
But how do you think are they open? How do you convince them to do this? Because they say, okay, it's a nice project, very nice that you thought of this, but you know, I have to save this life. I don't have time to talk with the parent. The parent, I don't know, just someone else talked with him and tell him what the problems of the kids are.
At the beginning, it's impossible to train all the people at these units. But if you train the experienced ones, that they can later on behave as a good example for the beginners. So this will make the project easier, I think. So our main target group will be the experienced medical staff that we can cooperate with. Then afterwards they can move forward with their fellows or other nurses or other doulas or midwives as well. So this can be a solution. And also I think this depends on the political things all over the countries. You know, in Turkey, it's impossible to talk about all professionals at the same time to be at the neonatology unit. I mean, in Turkey, we have just a few hospitals that the team is composed of doctors, nurses, physios, psychologists, but it's not all over the world.
This is what I wanted to ask you also, because I think it's another need which stands up on MedVET program is the inexistent multidisciplinary team of health personnel working in maternities. What are the side effects of this problem to the kids? Yeah,
the legislation has to be done for that. You know, if the psychologist is not there at the time of birth, the mother will not be supported. You know, at this kind of problem, if the doctor came out and said that, yes, this child will be disabled or this child has a problem, at that time, the mothers and the parents start to cry. That's the worst way to behave this kind of situation. So if we try to keep the legislation or the political people to convince them these people, these teams should be together when the birth is done, so this will be a solution. So you don't have to put all these medical professionals in all hospitals, but you have to have at least some consultation centers that all these professionals has to be there, and your child, when he is born or he is born, they can transfer this child to this consultation unit that all the professionals can be there. Otherwise, it will never work.
Do we have a model? Do we have other countries where these things are done?
We don't have a constructed model, but there are some countries that these models are being used. What can I say? Because in Turkey, we have just 3 university hospitals that all medical professionals came together, but it's not a consultation. In these kind of university hospitals, also the doctors always consultate the family first, because you are not allowed to tell anything about your child, about newborn baby, if he is normal or if he has something. You have to wait a doctor. So this is always complex for all over the world, I think.
Okay, so maybe with this program we will start step by step to, I don't know, first of all to train the medical staff to be more supportive to the parents, and second, for the, I don't know, politicians or whatever to understand that it's important to have this kind of units in the maternities For the good of the kids, for the good of the parents
That's
also.
right. Maybe the start can be done at university hospitals, that we can do that, because these hospitals are more complex, you know, they have lots of options to do that. So you don't have to have in all hospitals in Bulgaria or Romania or in Bulgaria, just a few centers that could move forward with this kind of problems.
To be the model and the others to follow.
Yes, but that's what I mean.
Yes, I want to talk to ask you about the family-centered care, because I know in other countries, and I know Corina Croitoru is struggling to have here in Romania also because she has this project. What is a family-centered care, and how important is for the parents to be near the kids, even if you know that your kid maybe will have problems in the future, or maybe especially that you will know this?
I have graduated from school at 1998. And at that time, we are taught that the child should be treated by the physiotherapist, and your hands should always be on the body of the child. But nowadays, when we look to the literature and also the new concept, they ask for family care, because when you touch the child, you just touch for an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours, but the rest 22 hours, 24 hours is child always independent. So we have to find solution to support the families, to support their child when they are at home, when they are at school, or when they are at NICU. I can say that if the child in the NICU is treated or breastfeeded with their mother, the nervous system improves rapidly.
Yes.
You know, so it starts there, I think. But you know, in most of the countries, the parents are not allowed in NICUs.
Yes,
Nowadays, in Turkey, sometimes if we are as a professional, I am a physiotherapist, and if I warn the doctor that the mother should be near the baby and she has to feed the baby, she has to handle the baby whenever he needs, or every hour, or the position changing or handling should be done by the
mother.
The
parent,
So this will improve the baby's life. Nowadays it has been changing, but it's not all over the world again. So it starts from the NICU, I think, the family care, but when in school, at home, or if you are traveling, if you position the child better, the child will gain from that kind of positioning. So it's important. The family centers training should be everywhere. And Australia, America, and most of the European countries are just trying to establish their own new concept about family care, which is really important for us. So we have to take our hands from the child just to make the child more independent by some instructions given by the family members. I think this is the best way now.
And do you think the communication between the parents and the medical staff, I think the communication is better if the family is there, and you know that there will come some personal interaction, and this is for the good of the kid.
That's right. And when we talk about family center, it's emphasized that the medical profession has to go to their own home, not at the clinic, I mean. I have to come to your home and to see where the child is living, where the child is sitting, where the child is eating. That's the family training, I mean, because if you treat a patient for 45 minutes per day, but the rest of time, if you treat a child to be sitting straight, but when the child goes home for watching TV and he's lying on his back, this is not the solution. So you have to train the family that the effects of the treatment should be everywhere, in car, in school, in the adaptive sitting chair, or even when he is in the bath. So this has to be important.
Yes, for this the parents should become like physiotherapists at home.
That's
like
right.
This.
That's right. We are just coaching you.
Yes.
You have to obey these kind of rules. Yeah.
Thank you very much for this interview, and I hope this program will help a lot of parents in Romania, and a lot of medical staff and a lot of doctors will understand how important is this kind of emotional support for the parents with kids with disabilities.
Hope so. Thank you very much for your kind invitation again.
Thank you.
Thank you.